Sephora stores are everywhere you are. So just pop in. When you need a brown lip to match your 90s playlist. A confidence boost before your interview? Or a last-minute gift for mom's birthday. There's always a Sephora near you. Just pop in. Use our store locator to find your local Sephora or Sephora at Kohl's.
This is what you do when you've just found that statement handbag on eBay and you want to build an entire wardrobe around it. You start selling to keep buying. Yep, on eBay. Over that all-black everything phase? List it and buy all the color. Feeling more vintage than ever? It's out with the new and in with the pre-loved. Next thing you know, you've refreshed your wardrobe basically without spending a dime. Yeah, eBay, the place to buy and sell new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Golden 20s podcast. My name is Tegan, and I'm joined with my co-host Sadie.
Hello.
And we're doing a little fall favorites roundup, and we are doing this in the report style that has been made famous on TikTok. So we're going to share what we're currently reading, eating, playing, obsessing, recommending, and treating. But before we get into all of that good stuff, we're going to do a connection card. This card says, what have you recently changed your mind about?
First thing that comes to mind for me is dating and like relationships. And I feel like I've actually been going through this process at like mindset shift and like, yeah, going through the motions while we've had this podcast. So I feel like even the way I like show up and talk about relationships has like evolved over the 4 years we've had this podcast. And I feel like it was just really through the pandemic. I was like, oh, I understand why people have relationships now. And like, as I get older, I just view romantic relationships differently, where I felt like my early 20s and my whole post-grad life, I valued independence above everything. And now I'm starting to change my mindset to be like, with my therapist's help, she reminds me this all the time, you can still be independent and in a relationship. And in fact, healthy relationships are two independent people coming together. So I feel like that's something I'm changing my mind about and like trying to rewire my mind, where it doesn't have to be I'm independent or in a relationship. I can be both. And I'm trying to really, work on that narrative so that I can open myself up to finding my person.
I love that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree that healthy relationships should be two independent people. I feel like as you like see more friends in relationships, as you get older, it's easier to clock when like it's one independent person and one not so independent person, and you can see like how unhealthy that is. Yeah. I think for me, one thing I changed my mind about, I've just been feeling very just like I want to stay at home, which is a kind of a new experience for me. And I was invited to a girls' weekend coming up, and I was like excited about it when I was invited. And then I just started like overthinking it. And was like, I don't know if I want to go. Like, I don't really know if I know all the girls. Like, maybe it's going to be weird. I don't know. And so I was thinking about canceling just because of like, I felt weird. And then I've been watching all these vlogs of this like certain group of vloggers who all went on the same girls trip. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I should just go on this girls trip. Like, why am I overthinking it like 3 weeks out? And being like, I should just cancel because I feel weird. So I changed my mind about that. And then I was like, I should just like go because it's not that deep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I love that. And I feel I relate to it because I feel like I overthink dating and relationships. And like, I'm very self-critical, being like, oh, like I put the cart before the horse kind of thing. So that's something I've been like working on. And I feel like when you were talking, I was like, I feel you're experiencing that. In this friendship situation, you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's not that deep. I just gotta show up. It'll be fun when I'm there. Yeah.
Like it'll be fine. Yeah. Or it was like, I was thinking about me being home from the trip, thinking about the trip. even though it hasn't happened and isn't going to happen. But I'm like, I just picture myself back at home and being like, God, that moment was awkward or whatever. And it's like, what is like,
yeah, it might not even happen.
Like making up fake stories to like, and then to like cancel. I don't know. So that's something. I do change my mind nonstop as a Gemini.
I was going to say, Tegan is a Gemini.
Like, it's daily.
Yeah. So report back if you go on the trip or not.
Yeah. I will go on the trip because I texted the host and said that I would be there. So if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. Yeah. But I did my big like thing that I did to appease myself was I said that I would drive myself so that I would just like be there with my own car. So that if I wanted to, I could drive home. Which I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, am I going to drive home early? Like, no. But yeah, it's just like a little thing to appease myself. So that's my middle ground that I've met. But now I'm excited. The girls are planning all the activities and all this. So watching the YouTube videos really helped. Highly recommend. Yeah. If you have something you're worried about, look it up on YouTube. I did that for like my wedding and everything and hit the spot.
Yeah. I feel you'll love your girly time because all of like Tegan's friends and you're just surrounded by so many boys where I feel like, oh my God, my cat is ripping around if you can hear her. But anyways, sorry, I totally lost my train of thought because of my cat. Oh, I think when you're there, maybe that's why you're overthinking it. It's like that.
Yeah.
Girls
I don't know how to hang out with girls.
Yeah. But when you're there, you'll be like, I didn't know how badly I needed this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to bring like all the random PR bits I brought. Like, I think they want it to be like cozy spa vibes, which is
perfect.
My scene. So, yeah. Nice. I'll have to report back how it goes. It sounds ideal. Anyone listening is probably like, girl, what is wrong with you?
No, I feel probably a lot of people understand. Especially this time of year when it's getting cold out and like you said, you just want to stay home. Yeah. I get that.
Well, shall we dive into our fall favorites?
Let's do it. I was warning Tegan. I was like, I'll try to follow the report format, but I have so many random things that I want to tell you guys about. So if my list is all over the place and it's like, girl, that's a stretch. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily playing or eating or whatever. Just know I'm trying to cram as much as I can into this format. So yeah, it's going to be a little random.
I love it. I see people stretch this format on TikTok. Like the amount of times I see people saying like playing with, and then they just mean like playing around with, and then it's anything. It's like playing with, and then it's like a Dyson Airwrap. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you know, you can kind of make it work.
That's funny. Well, Teg, do you want to kick us off with what you're reading?
Yes. I've been kind of in like a baby reading slump. So I am very excited to go up to my cottage because the last time I was there, I read 2 books, which are the books I'm going to mention. And so they were 2 Sally Rooney books. First was Normal People, and second was Conversations with Friends. And I had never read any of her books before. I know people like love her and are obsessed. I know Normal People's a TV show. Like, I know all the deets, but I had never read them mainly because I knew that she didn't use quotation marks. And I was like, that's annoying. I don't want to read that. But I ended up picking up Normal People at Value Village for like $5, I think. And so I was like, oh, I'll bring it up to the cottage because it's usually quite easy to read there. We don't have Wi-Fi or service or a TV, so it's really your only option. And I really, really liked it. Like, I was staying up late there to read it, and everyone else who was with me was like, damn, Tegan, you're quite the reader. But it was only because of Sally Rooney. So yeah, I wanted to mention those. I also wanted to mention, this is like not really reading, but we're just going to pretend it is. We got sent this like new journal from Intelligent Change to film an Instagram reel for. And so like they send this stuff for you to film with, and then you just keep it. And so I was like, well, if I've got this journal, I might as well give it a try. I had been using like the 5-minute journal from Intelligent Change, and this one's quite different. It's like a detailed kind of, it's very similar to therapy actually, but in like journal form. And so I've been working my way through and really, really enjoying it. And it's basically trying to help you figure out what your ideal life is. I'm at the point in the book where I'm now figuring out what are the things that are preventing me from living that. Like, what are my ingrained like beliefs and actions that are stopping me from doing that, my limiting beliefs. Then it's like, how do we get past them? How do we like come up with a plan and all that good stuff? So I wanted to mention that because I've been really enjoying it. I'm like halfway through the 5-minute journal and it's good. I enjoy it, but it's like the same questions every day. So it is just like, yeah, okay. This is like, I find it easier to skip if I'm like, okay, I've answered these questions every single day for the last like 5 months. Maybe I'm going to skip this morning. So I've been enjoying switching it out for the Life Designer Journal.
Nice. And we do have an Intelligent Change promo code if you guys want to check that out. I think it's in the show notes. But yeah, that sounds like a good journal. Is it still like a daily thing? Or you can fill it out at your own pace, whatever you want. Yeah,
it's your own pace. I've been trying to do it daily, but it's definitely like it's big picture. And it's kind of funny because some pages I'll look at them and be like, I can't answer that right now. Or I'm like, I can't even read that. And then I'll go and look at it that night and be like, why was I so scared to even look at this when it's like not even that deep? So I don't know. It is interesting. I'm not like finished my journey yet, but I'm halfway through.
Nice. I think for what I've been reading, I feel you on the reading slump, and I'm getting frustrated because I feel like the past few books that I've read, I picked up to try to get me out of a reading slump, and it's like things that are really trendy, things that have, you know, been in all the emails from Indigo and like are on the front table when you walk in. So I was like, okay, these things will get me out of my reading slump, but nothing, like I haven't read a 5-star read in such a long time. However, well, yeah, a few months anyway. But I'm reading Wild Love by Elsie Silver right now. And it is going to be, I'm going to finish it tonight, but it is going to be a 3-star for me. So I don't necessarily think I like recommend it. However, I do have to say it has a high rating. And I think it's because the spice in this book is off the charts spicy. And it's not, I don't think it's like icebreaker in the sense of it's like the whole book is spicy. Yeah. You did have to like wait, you know, your usual like 250 pages in, and then they finally hook up. But I was just like, damn, some books I read the spicy scenes and I'm like, this is cringy and just like, you know, this I'm just like, damn, this is intense. So I have been enjoying that. But the actual story, I'm like, meh, it's okay. Yeah. I feel like they're going for a lot of tropes in one where it's kind of like childhood. I don't know. Enemies to lovers, but also kind of like frenemies. I don't know. It's a lot of tropes in one. But if you're looking for a spicy read, that is good. And the author is Canadian. It's set in like Calgary, Vancouver. So that's also nice. But yeah, that's all I had under my reading category.
That's fun. I did not realize that she was Canadian. That kind of makes me want to read it, even though I feel like I won't like it.
You can borrow it.
Okay.
You can borrow it because I bought it thinking it was, because people are literally like 5 stars. And my sister was like, oh, maybe I'll borrow it when you're done. And I was like, I don't think you're really going to like this. She has like a long TBR at all times. So I'm like, no, this is low priority. Yeah. But then I was like, I think it's going to get spicy. And that's why it has high ratings, because that's the other thing. I find people just like tack on an extra star on Goodreads if it's spicy. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know though, Tig, if we'll be into the same like spicy. Like this guy's just a little like kind of dominating-esque kind of thing. I don't know. But you can borrow it. There's a second one. I don't know if I'll read it, but yeah.
Very interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well,
I have a lot more under my eating category, so why don't we jump into that? Okay, it was a few episodes ago when we were talking about our like fall routines or something, and I was talking about not drinking coffee on an empty stomach. You guys, last week on Monday, I drank so much coffee and I was so exhausted. And on Tuesday, I was like, I don't even feel like drinking coffee. And I drank Earl Grey tea in the morning instead. And people are like, okay, girl, yeah, Earl Grey tea, that's great. But it has been my go-to in the mornings. And I feel like as it gets chillier outside, I just find myself like wanting tea. So I've been starting my day with an Earl Grey tea, and I was like, this is so good. Last night I went out for dinner and I had a London Fog creme brulee.
Ooh.
Oh my God, it was so good. I'm just like so in my Earl Grey era, I guess. So I've been drinking that in the morning, and then at night, typically when I'm reading, I've like drank sleepy time tea for years and years. But the past few like weeks or months, I've been doing sleepy time vanilla tea, and that just, it's extra good. And maybe it's because it's new, a little fresh spin on sleepy time. Again, it's been around forever, but it's new to me, I guess. So wanted to mention my little tea routine morning and night. Something else that I recently discovered that I actually think is new, not just new to me, is that Carbone sells pasta sauce in the grocery store, and it's available here in Canada. So if you don't know what Carbone is, it's a New York restaurant, Italian restaurant, very, very hard to get reservations to. Even for New Yorkers, like it is impossible to get reservations. And like I said, they're like famous for their pasta. And just, I guess maybe 2 weeks ago, I was in the grocery store and I was like, oh, I want to make like a nice like dinner for myself on a Friday night. I'm not going to lie, this pasta sauce was on sale for like $11.99. Like it was ridiculously expensive. But I was like, no, I'm having this nice night in for myself. So I splurged and I bought it, and it was actually so good. So wanted to throw that on the list as something I'm eating. And then the last thing I have in this category is more around my supplements. I feel like everyone is sick right now. Like this week especially, everybody at work is sick. It's just going around. It's that time of year. But I've been feeling really great, and not even just like immunity ways, but my skin has been looking good, and I'm just feeling overall like I'm feeling rested. And I think it's because I've been so diligent with my supplement routine the past few months, I want to say. And what that looks like is a prebiotic. It's the Ritual one, so it's a pre, pro, and postbiotic, or it's the symbiotic, but that's pre, pro, and post biotic all in one. I also take a women's multivitamin, and then the other thing I've introduced, I guess maybe the beginning of the summer, was ashwagandha. And this is like, I know not everybody believes in like vitamins, and then ashwagandha is kind of like the next like stretch of kind of like, I don't know what the word is, like the natural stuff, I guess. But ashwagandha is supposed to be good for everything. It's supposed to be like help you sleep, relieve anxiety, stress, literally everything. So I've worked that into my routine, and I don't know if it's why I've been feeling so great, if it's been benefiting my skin, but I have seen positive results ever since I started taking it. So could be coincidental, but these 3 things I take every single night, and I've been feeling great as a result.
Love it. Yeah, I feel like that's been such a hip supplement for like the past couple of years, especially around like stress relief and things like
because
that.
it does everything, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer, I do want to say, I'm a firm believer of, especially when it comes to stress and anxiety, you need to do the work to know what is stressing you out. And like, you can't just take ashwagandha and be like, okay, this will fix me. Like, no, there's probably something that is causing, you know, the root problem of your stress and anxiety. But this does seem to help. So yeah.
Love that. Yeah, it's been a part of my insane nighttime vitamin ritual that I can't even break down, because it would be like a whole separate episode.
Gosh.
But yeah, I am on that train as well. My eating category is actually like quite similar to yours. Okay. Which is interesting. I feel like we're on the same wavelength. But one thing I've been doing, just because we are, you know, rolling into the fall season when people are getting sick, is I've been taking the Greenhouse Juice Pharma C Plus Wellness shots, which normally I just take vitamin C, like gummy supplements or, you know, something like that. But I've been doing these wellness shots instead, and I've been really loving that. Even toying around with the idea of like maybe doing one of their like juice cleanses or something like that. But I've been loving that. I also just got really into mint tea, which like is not groundbreaking, but yeah. Yeah, I'm really loving it. And I only ever have mint tea at my parents' house, so it really reminds me of Christmas. because like I don't go to their house that often. It's mainly just at Christmas. So that's been kind of like nostalgic and nice. We also got sent some oolong tea from the company Chimney and Tea, which is like a Toronto-based woman-led brand. And I had never had oolong tea before, but she, like the founder, explained like all the details with the tea and was basically saying that it's like a step between black tea and green tea. So if I'm ever like a little more tired in the afternoon, I've been doing like a cup of oolong tea, because it has like a little bit of caffeine, but not like as much as making a coffee per se. And so I've been really loving that as well. Very into the teas and all the cozy vibes. And I did want to mention our like friend did a Friendsgiving last weekend. And so I got to eat lots of yummy food with them. And I made my Thanksgiving sangria, my signature. And I also made my pumpkin pie dip, which both were a big success. And I was just like, yep, this is the fall vibe that I was looking for.
What's in the sangria?
It's red wine sangria, which I know is controversial. Okay. Everyone, as I was making it, was like, oh. But then everyone, as they were having it, was like, ooh, this is great. And yeah, so it's like red wine, a bunch of apples, oranges, a bunch of cinnamon sticks. That's the secret, because it kind of gives it the mulled wine feeling, except I don't like drinking hot wines. It's literally like mulled wine, but cold. Okay. And yeah, brandy and club soda just to give it a little fizz, apple juice, and orange juice. So it's just like all the apple vibes. Well, actually, this is so random, but it's supposed to have apple cider in it. But we went to 3 or 4 grocery stores. None of them had apple cider. My husband was asking employees, and they were like, what are you even asking? And he was like apple cider. And they were like, apple cider vinegar? And he was like, no, it's like apple juice. They were like, we have apple juice. And he's like, no, it's like apple juice, but it's like a little darker, a little sweeter. Like multiple employees at different stores didn't know what he was talking about. So that's I was so like, bizarre. Is apple cider not come to Toronto yet? Like, is this only
it's in my flyer this week. And it's on sale. I'm like gonna stock up for Thanksgiving. I do find this time of year it's hard to find, just because I feel like it is a very like fall thing, and it's fresh, so it goes bad, like but that is so bizarre.
The fact that they didn't even know, like, I don't know. I was like, maybe it's because we now live in Little Jamaica. Like, I'm like, I guess they don't have apple cider in Jamaica, so they're just like, we don't stock it here. I don't know. So it's supposed to be made with apple cider. I made it with apple juice. It was fine. Like, we all survived.
People are like, wait, what? You live in Little Jamaica?
Yeah.
The neighborhood in Toronto that Tegan lives in.
Little Jamaica. But it is, I will say, our grocery stores do have weird stuff. Like, like the seasoning aisle is crazy. All these seasonings I've never seen. And they don't sell any pre-made baked goods. Like, none of the Pillsbury stuff, like the little cookies, they don't sell that. Even like pre-made pie, like crusts and stuff. Like, we're in the neighborhood where the people are making it all, and they're making it from scratch. So I'm like, it could just be like the grocery stores in our neighborhood are only obviously stocking like very specific things, and that does not include apple cider. But I was like, oh, well, I'm a white person who lives here now. Please bring me apple cider. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I love apple cider. I made a like fall sangria, but it had like Fireball in it. And like that was kind of the cinnamony. Yeah, so it's like kind of a kick. Yeah, but I was thinking maybe making it this weekend. Yeah, nice.
Nice. Yeah, I'll send you the recipe I used if you're curious too. It's quite a hit. The people drank it all. And I had made it before, and it was the same, where lots of people drink it quite quickly. But the reason I like this one is it doesn't taste boozy. Like, it just kind of tastes like a cozy drink, not like, I don't know, too strong.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, next up is our playing category. And this one is all over the map for me. So a few weeks ago, again, we were talking about like cozy fall activities, and we talked about video games, and maybe that's something else I've changed my mind about recently. And I talked about it in that episode where it was like growing up, video games are like viewed as such a waste of time, and
Right.
it's like a bad thing to be spending time playing video games. But as I'm growing up, I'm like, no, it's actually kind of nice. Like it has the same effect as like reading a book or turning on a Netflix show, like of just kind of, in a positive way, disassociating and just kind of like turning your brain off for a bit. So after we recorded that episode, I don't have any recent consoles, so I dug my Nintendo Wii out of my closet and hooked it up, and then I started my little farm for Harvest Moon Tree of Tranquility, and I love it. I played it all weekend that weekend. That was actually the night I made my pasta with my carbone, like fancy pasta sauce, played my little video game. It was so wholesome and just like such a like recharging feel good night. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention that is truly playing. The other things in this category are what I'm playing on Spotify. And I have been obsessed with the Secret of Us album by Gracie Abrams. I run to it. I listen to it like all day, like all hours of the day, where usually I'm very much like, this is like a morning playlist. This is like a working playlist. This is like a night playlist, No, with this album, I listen to it all day, every day. I just love it so much. It's just a total vibe. And I don't know, I just think it's cute. I was so stupid though, because I was on Spotify and it was like, Gracie Abrams is coming to Toronto in November. And I was like, oh my God. And then she's at the Rogers Center and I was like, oh my God. And she's here for multiple nights. I was like, what the heck? And then I look and I was like, oh, she's opening for the Eras Tour. I had no idea. So I was like, okay, the dream is squashed to see her live. But yeah, I've been loving this album. And then the last thing in the playing category is what I'm watching on Netflix. Me and everybody else in the world is Nobody Wants This. And I am only a few episodes in. I am a little late to the game per usual. Not as late as I usually am to the newest trending Netflix shows. But I'm really loving this. And I feel like there's just so many parts of it that feel relatable to me. Their podcast hosts, I'm just like, yeah, this is exactly what I needed. I will say I didn't watch the OC, so I'm not quite as emotionally invested in Adam Brody as the internet is. I'm more into Kristen Bell. She's been in so many things that I've watched, but in any case, I'm loving it. And yeah, if you haven't seen it, this could also be under the like recommending category as well.
Love it. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet just because like Tyrell and I watch all our stuff together and he's been gone for work. So like we finally watched the Nicole Kidman, what was that? The Perfect Family?
Perfect Couple.
Yeah, Perfect Couple.
Yeah.
So we watched that, like rushed to get it done before he left, and then we haven't really started up anything yet. So it's definitely on my list because I love him from the Gilmore Girls days. So
yeah. The nice thing is too, they're only like half-hour episodes.
Nice.
That's a huge perk because I feel any mini-series or Netflix originals, they're all like minimum an hour, sometimes like an hour and a half episodes.
Yeah.
And I just can't do that. So this is really nice where it's like, yeah, quick, easy, rom-com feels like it's cute.
Yeah, I love that. Again, my playing category is quite similar to your playing category.
Same wavelength.
Yeah, I've been playing the video game Hogwarts Legacy on my Switch, and oh my gosh, I am addicted.
Sorry, my cat's running around again. I think she's enjoying the cooler, brisker weather because she's like, I'm so, when it's hot and stuff, she's like, I'm so fluffy, too hot to play. Now she's like running around. Sorry, Tag. Back to you. Harry Potter Legacy.
Yeah, just been playing that, and I'm not a video game person, so I had to change the like difficulty to be easy, which is basically the level above where you're just like playing story mode.
Right.
So I just like walking around in it, to be honest. So I've been really loving that. And it is like very autumnal. Like it's all like pumpkins everywhere and leaves and all that stuff. So I've been enjoying that. I've been continuing to play hockey, of course. and I've been playing lots of like cozy jazz and folk albums like all day long. I've just been listening to like autumn jazz such and such playlists on Spotify. I find like a different one every day and then just listen to that on a loop. So that's kind of what I've been playing.
Love it.
Next is obsessing, which I feel like this is quite a general category.
Yeah.
So I'm
100%.
not sure if we'll be on the same wavelength, but
Okay. Mine was, I didn't know what to put in this category. Mine's skirt and sweater outfit formulas. And I've been doing this in a variety of ways. I feel like I've talked about this on the podcast before too, but I'm just very into, I don't know. I've very into like effortless style, and I feel like as soon as you put on a skirt or a dress, people are like, oh my god, you look so good, and you're like, this was literally so easy. It's just the fact that I'm showing some leg that people are like, oh my god. So I love that, but I just feel, I don't know, there's so many different ways I take with this. So I have like a short leather skirt that I just pair with like a chunky knit sweater, and last week I put like my tall boots with it, and it just looks so cute. It's a good like day to night outfit, which is exactly what I did. I wore it to work, and then we had a dinner after work. So that was perfect. And then this week I was rocking a like graphic sweatshirt. So less like sweater, but more like sweatshirt with a long pleated maxi skirt and like short ankle boots. And again, I was just like, damn, I love my outfit. So feel there's so many ways you can take this. And I also feel like last year was I've had like that leather skirt I was just talking about for a long time. It was from Aritzia. It was expensive. When I tried it on, I was like, wow, I love how this fits. And then I just didn't wear it for probably like a good year or two. And then last year I was like, no, I'm going to wear this in like the fall winter with nylons to kind of like keep me cool. And that's kind of my go-to this year as well, where it's like skirts aren't just for summer. Obviously, people are like, yeah, makes sense. Same with dresses, but I don't know. I just don't find myself gravitating towards them in the fall and winter until I started wearing nylons with them. And nylons also just make my legs look like a little bit more tan, smoother, just like smooths it all out. So big fan of that. And I'm obsessing over it.
I love that. I am obsessing over cozifying my house, and I'm making it my like personal mission. And so what this means is, first, no big light on ever. I have it on right now just so you can see my face, and I'm not loving it. It's all about the little lights, and candles everywhere. I have them like all spread out around my house, lots of blankets, cup of like tea at all times, occasionally cup of red wine if that's more the vibe, baking in the kitchen, like the jazz playing at all times, very that vibe. We just started watching like Harry Potter, and it was just peak to be like watching Harry Potter in all the dark with little candles everywhere. I have like all my fall scented candles out, as well as just like my plain pillar ones, and just like a cup of tea or hot chocolate, and it was very much the vibe. So I am obsessed with that.
Love it. We love a cozy night in. And yeah, that's how you curate. That's like Huga, you know, like leaning into the season. Make it cozy.
Definitely. Awesome. Next is recommending. What are you recommending, Sadie?
Okay, so it's probably not a surprise that both of the things I have under this category are skincare. So I was just talking about how my skin has actually been quite good lately, and I do think part of that is the supplements and stuff like that, but I also have been using 2 products for a couple of months now, and I am obsessed, but also recommending them. The first is Paula's Choice 2% BHA like lotion exfoliant. This is a go-to for people with acne. It's been huge in the States forever, but it just recently came to Canada. I want to say like maybe 2 years ago, maybe just last year. It was huge when we got it here. And context is like there's certain BHA products and like certain HAs, I guess, because I don't even know if it's necessarily BHA, but that we can't sell here in Canada. So we didn't have this for the longest time. So the fact we got it is big news, and it works super, super well. I love how it feels on my skin. And I just think I see great results from that. So I apply that at night, most nights. And then I'm also a big vitamin C girly. However, vitamin C is very expensive. So when I saw the Garnier one, just like drugstore brand, they have a day and a night serum, both vitamin C based. The day one has niacinamide and salicylic acid in it as well. Both of those are skincare products skincare ingredients, I guess, that I know my skin really, really likes, especially for my skin concerns of acne and acne scarring. And yeah, so when I saw this Garnier one at like $12 a bottle instead of like $30 from the Body Shop, which is what I would typically buy for vitamin C serum, I was like, okay, I need to check this out. And I have been absolutely loving it. Again, I already knew my skin reacts really well to vitamin C, niacinamide, and salicylic acid. If you haven't tried any of those things, like maybe just like ease into it. But I've been using this every single morning, and I love how it like wears under my makeup. Like I just love everything about it. So wanted to recommend that as well.
Love it. Yeah, I was originally going to say something different in this category, but you've actually inspired me to get back on your wavelength. So I'm going to recommend some skincare as well, because I just repurchased one of my favorite serums, where this will actually be the third bottle I'm repurchasing. I will say it's very expensive, but I think it's worth it, and I am so cheap. That should mean something.
Yeah. I'm like, so, what is it?
This is the Caudalie Radiance Vino Perfecting like dark spot remover, I think it's called. And it's just like a brightening serum. And I love it.
Vitamin C alternative.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I've used vitamin C before.
Yeah.
But I go back and forth with vitamin C, where I find it difficult to use up all of the serum. Why am I saying it like serum before it expires? And it's just like I have beef with vitamin C in that way, where this stuff, I don't know, I just love it. I really struggle with dark spots where like I feel like people think I'm quite dramatic because I'm like, if there's mosquitoes sprinting away, but like if I get a mosquito bite or like an acne spot or a blister, I will have that mark for months and months and months. I still have blisters. I got Christmas 2020 going on a walk in new boots. God. So it's like, this is an issue. So if I can find anything that helps, I'm quite excited about it. They do actually just have like a gift pack too. This was why I repurchased it. It was like 3 products for the price of 1 bottle, but it is $110 a bottle. So that's why I was like, let me just wait until I get, a little deal with it. And then I had like a deal with my Amex to get Sephora points and all this whole thing. But I was just like, okay, this is my time to repurchase. So I definitely wanted to recommend that. It's super gentle on your skin. I use it day and night, and I love it.
Yeah, I've been hearing so much about that one, especially in like the acne world, where I'm pretty sure that's the one that's the vitamin C alternative, but it's supposed to be like even more effective than vitamin C. I haven't tried it because I have a like very expensive serum that I use at night too, where I'm like, I can't use this in the day and have an expensive serum morning and night, like because I know I'd be hooked on it. But I also know they have another one that's like a retinol alternative that also is supposed to be like super, super good. So yeah, if you guys are looking for a serum, you have the money to spend, try it out. But
yeah,
I know myself, I'll get hooked and then I'll be like, okay.
Yeah, that's what happened is I got like a little mini, and I can't even remember. It must have been like a Sephora Favorites or something where I got the little mini. And normally, like I did the whole Hudson's Bay Advent calendar last year, and probably 75% of the samples, I was like, this is fine. Like I won't rush to repurchase it. It didn't like irritate my skin, but it's fine. Where this sample, I was like, oh God damn it. Why is it so good?
Yeah. That's funny. I think this is the perfect segue from skincare into my treating category. And my birthday is coming up the end of the month, and I took the day off, and I'm going to treat myself to a hydrofacial, which
Nice.
I've never done a hydrofacial before, so I'm very excited about it. Again, very expensive. That's why I'm treating myself to it. I've done facials. I was on like a facial grind for the beginning of the year. Then I took a break, just kind of keeping my budget in mind. And now I'm like, let's go with a bang with like literally like $200 plus facial for my birthday. But I'm so looking forward to it. And it's in like a very bougie area of Toronto. And I'm thinking before I do my facial, I need to still like figure out the timing of it all. I'm also going to take an othership class. So I'm like, I feel like that'll be the perfect little day to myself to celebrate my birthday. I might go to Italy. Like, I'm just going to go all out. It's a Wednesday. So I'm like, just a random day in the middle of the week treating myself to all this. But yeah, that was my answer for this one.
I love it. Yeah, that'll be so good. I very rarely get facials, but I always try and get a facial around or on my birthday. Because it's just like such a nice way to like start a new year and be like,
yeah,
grateful for your skin to be aging and yeah, just feeling good about it all.
Yeah. And I can justify it more where it's like I'm treating myself on my birthday because again,
yeah,
it's expensive, you know? So
yeah. Totally. I love that. I am treating myself to some anniversary fun coming up this weekend because it's my 4-year wedding anniversary, and the theme for like people might not know this, but there's like a different themed gift for every single year, and basically the longer you're married the better the gifts are. So the first year is like paper, and then they get like better and better. So 4 is fruit, flowers, and then they always do like modern ones that are just fake, and the modern ones appliances. And so yeah, my husband and I are doing a whole little cranberry bog day because cranberries are fruit. I think
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a moment of like, oh, maybe they're, you know, like some of those weird ones where it's like you think like tomatoes are a fruit, or you know, you think they're a different category. But yeah, so we're going to a cranberry bog, which I've never been to, but I'm quite excited about. And then we're doing like a wine tasting at the cranberry bog and having like a whole little fall day and celebrating the fruit of 4 years.
Nice. That sounds so cute.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Love it. Well, there you go, guys. Our current favorites, fall report style. Hopefully there was something in here that you can take away if it's something new to read or watch or play or skincare to try. But thank you guys so much for listening. We drop a new episode every single Tuesday, so make sure you are subscribed and following us on whatever app you're listening to this podcast on. You can also rate the show and leave a review. That helps us more than you could know. We're also on Patreon, which is the best way to support the podcast for as little as $2 a month. And you can also find us on social media. We're TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all the places, and we're at our golden 20s. And I think that is everything. So thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.